The Virginia Beach Fire Department has a long and rich history since its beginnings as an all-volunteer department in 1906, when Virginia Beach was a rural township within Princess Anne County. After the town merged with the county in 1963 to form the city of Virginia Beach, the area experienced rapid growth, transforming the fire department from an all-volunteer organization to what would become an all-hazards response agency capable of protecting one of the largest resort cities in the country required dedicated and determined leadership. In May of 1974, Harry Diezel became the second fire chief of the Virginia Beach Fire Department.
When he came here, the big city was already 10 years old. And we were about 10 years behind for the fire department progressing.
When Chief Diezel took the helm, there were just 120 firefighters, and he wasted no time going before the city council and letting them know what it would take to grow this city's fire department into the agency the citizens of Virginia Beach deserved.
Oddly enough, the first thing is to make them understand that it was a big city, 310 square miles, as opposed to the 10 and a half, 12 square miles down the old beach run. Second thing was uniform training, so they all had the same playbook. They were using different equipment and doing a lot of things that were counterproductive to teamwork. So the emphasis on training got started right then.
I was the first young officer that he promoted after he made chief.
Retired Deputy Chief Jimmy Carter says uniform training, an essential ingredient to any successful fire department, was difficult to achieve at a time when much of the personnel was still volunteer.
I think the volunteer departments met with the city government and said, we need help, kind of thing. And I think that's one of the reasons Harry was brought in to sort of, spearhead some things.
Some of the more progressive volunteers saw the value in training and working neighbor to neighbor, right? And the career guys, the more training you got, the better it was. So what few career people we had.
In fact, only a handful of the 120 firefighters in the department when Chief Diezel took over were actually career members.
When Harry came here, we only had 12 firefighters in the city. I mean, my bad said 12. Really, we didn't have hardly anything as far as training was concerned.
The so-called training facility was located in a little building off the side of Station 16 that used to house the dispatch center.
There's like 3 of us in there. But we were hiring, 10, 12, 14 people at a time back then, and trying to run them through recruit schools. And then at night and weekends, we were training volunteers. So it was like, this is what we're here to do.
They just needed a place to do it, along with a dedicated training staff, all reading from the same playbook. In 1975, only a year after he assumed the duties as fire chief, Diezel went before City Council and secured the initial funding to build the Fire Training Center.
If he asked for something in due time, it would be done.
There were a lot of politics involved in it.
New legislation allowing the state to tax insurance provided a source of funding for a new fire training center.
I think it was $1, I may be wrong on that, of each 100 went towards the fire service in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And it was distributed based on population. So the bigger you grew, the faster you grew, the more money you received. And then there were stipulations in that law, or that the bill, that said how you could spend it. You had to use it for specific reasons. And Harry's reason was training. So we built this training center with that money.
Construction of the Fire Training Center began in 1978, and in 1979, the 10,000 square foot facility was complete with administration offices, a 120-seat auditorium, training classrooms, in addition to a full-service library and reusable burn building. In February of that same year, the facility opened and 24 VBFD recruit firefighters were the first to be trained in the state-of-the-art regional fire training facility.
He encouraged training and to make Virginia Beach Fire Department the best in the state and in the country, which it has turned out to be, and in the nation.
Well, we got there because of great leadership, and Harry was at the top of that group, that leadership. It didn't stymie his belief And it didn't stymie his dream to make sure our firefighters were properly trained and equipped, because he didn't want anybody to get hurt, which you highly respect. And as this organization grew, and as the funding became available, the training center grew, the training academy grew, the classes grew, and you see where we are here, you know, today. I think that was all part of Harry's dream.
From the time he first came here, he had this vision to make this department the best it could be. And I think he's done that through all aspects of it: personnel, equipment, training.
As time went on, it just got better and better and better, and then we were bringing in fire companies from other cities, and they're doing it today. And if we didn't have that fire training center, I can tell you one thing, the fire department wouldn't be as good as it is today.
So now, the facility he founded bears his name, prominently displayed for all to see. But for Chief Diezel, a legacy is not built with bricks and mortar.
Never has been, you know, as far as I'm concerned. The legacy will be the young men and women on those trucks that answer these calls every day. If they're trained, if they're educated, if they're prompt, if they do what Mrs. Smith needs to be done in terms of caring and efficiency, that's the legacy. It'll be a lot longer than I will be, hopefully. I'm grateful, you know, that someone took the time to think about this, and politically I got the ball rolling. But was it necessary? Nah, I don't think so. The training component is necessary. My name out on the outside was not, you know, 100% necessary. And it'd be nice to see it, obviously, but as long as they have quality training that safeguards the citizen and the firefighter, I'm happy.